Hey guys, welcome back to Southeastern Soul Tribe once again, and Happy New Year to everybody. It is 2025 officially, and I am happy to be back. I hope you guys like the new platform that I'm using. This is a Southern Sass production. Please go and see also my best friend Amy for our true crime podcast called The Raven Knocks. Sometimes I'm the co-host on that. You can find that on all platforms where you watch your podcast. Anyway, to get started today, we are going to do a collective reading for the year of 2025. It's going to be time-stamped. It's going to be a forecast for what or who is coming ahead. And then I'm going to do a collective reading for everyone, and we're going to go all the way around from Capricorn to Sagittarius. They will be time-stamped. Possible things that will be used in the reading today will be the Allentine Wellness Oracle, the Oracle of Pluto, the Witch's Garden Tarot, the Light Seers, the Moonology Oracle cards, messages from your animal spirit guides, and the Rider-Waite. May or may not use this tarot deck, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it might be the Celtic Tarot. Not sure if that's going to come into play today or not. I have a hard time seeing some of the stuff in it, but sometimes I use it. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're looking for a personal reading, that information will come across your screen or be in the About section. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the collective reading to see where this 2025 may be going for the collective. So let's get started first with the Moonology deck and pull for our collective. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for the Southeastern Soul Tribe collective. What messages do you have for spiritual growth and the highest good for the collective at this time? Wow, what a good message to have for an entire collective of people. And I say that because we get Capricorn energy with the end of a tough cycle approaches. Notice, we have just ended what I would say would be a very, very tough cycle. And ironically, Pluto had been in Capricorn for the majority of the year of 2024. Toward the end of the year, Pluto went into Aquarius, which is really, really good. The full moon in Capricorn, so ending a tough cycle, we may be asked to maybe release things that were not that great for us in the past. When it comes to Capricorn energy, it could be habits that we had that did not contribute to good growth, for things that are actually better for yourself and a collective. And the collective starts at home with your families and the people that you're in relationship with. The full moon in Capricorn is, what do we need to release that may not be the best for us? And then with the full moon in Taurus, what's happening in our commitments at home, and what could we be holding on to that we need to make a practical plan about to be able to have better growth for ourselves and the collective as well, with Pluto being in Aquarius. It's going to be there for a very long time. Pluto is a slow-moving planet, and it is about everyone. And Taurus can be very stubborn. Your dreams need a practical plan. So sometimes we get stuck in patterns that create a place where we feel like we're stuck. We may be in relationships that we should not be in. Also, we could be in commitments that we shouldn't be in. you never know. With Taurus, I think of the Hierophant in the tarot, simply because that's Taurus energy all the way around. It's higher commitments, higher levels of education. If you're looking to go to school and learn something new, your dreams need a practical plan. If you're looking to make big changes in your life to get out of old tough cycles, your dreams need a practical plan. So that's basically the message going out to the collective right now. So let's see what Spirit has to say as far as the tarot goes for what, as a collective, that we need to be focused on. Where we come from, and as a collective, what needs to change. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides, help me to read for the highest good for the collective of the Southeastern Soul Tribe that's listening to me today. What is it that they need to hear so we can find out what or who is coming ahead for each one of us? All right. Where's the collective coming from? Spirit. Interesting that I talked about the Hierophant in tarot and that Taurus energy. Because if you'll notice in this reading, we got a couple of different things. And I feel like that these fell this way because of the way that I'm reading. If you'll notice, I put these upright so that you guys can see them on here. So there are lessons that we have learned this year. Carrying this 10 of Wands, it's carrying a very heavy load. And we may not have been carrying it all alone. Or we may not feel that abundant. Some of us may have lost a lot of money. Some of us may be in a self-growth pattern right now of where we can change that dynamic. And recently, we have also been faced with a divine Y point. Figuring out which direction we're going to go. Is it going to be the direction of the Seven of Swords, where we take off in the middle of the night with some of the swords and we leave a couple of behind so we can go back? It's lies and deceptions to ourselves or others. Or do we stay inside of a commitment with the Hierophant or the Taurus energy? Do we stay on the path that we're on, the commitments that we've already had, and move forward in the future? And I feel like this year we have, or this past year, we've been faced with that dilemma as a collective. I know for myself, I've had to come to a point in my life where I've had to let go of a lot of toxic things. Some things I didn't even recognize were toxic until I got a broader view of them. And that's definitely what I see in this pattern of cards over here. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides, show us where we're sitting now. Here we sit, still not have made a judgment. We may be at a crossroads at this very moment. So this divine Y point that was going over further this way may very well be a place that we're still trying to make a decision from. Because there's a lack of judgment here, or either we're at a crossroads and we've not yet made that judgment. So show me on each side of this, Spirit, for the collective, where we're sitting as far as that goes. The High Priestess, something in hiding with Pisces energy. is on one part of this road, something we're not telling everybody, whether it's for good or for bad, that's completely on each individual as to whether they're holding something back for a reason or they're holding it back for a bad reason, good reason or bad reason. And then here we sit here trying to decide if we are going to go this direction, which would actually be headed in a different direction toward the end of a cycle. If I'm reading this the way that I read these cards, it's in reverse. So there's a lack of judgment about not keeping something under your hat. And maybe something where we don't feel supported at all and not allowing a cycle to end. And there's a lack of judgment around that for someone here. Could be you, could be someone you're dealing with, but you put those pegs where they belong. What kind of information does Spirit want the collective to know about this? Communication needs to happen around this with the Nine of Swords, and it needs to happen quickly. When I'm looking at this, it's in the upright for you guys. These are all in reverse. So it's Spirit saying this message is going toward the ending of a cycle. What is the biggest fear around this big decision or this divine Y point that we're finding ourselves in? Anything else? All right. So, somebody don't want to wait. Someone here does not want to wait. These are conflicting energies. Because while someone don't want to wait, someone else is waiting or holding back. And one person in the scenario may feel left out about it and the other one doesn't. Or somebody may even not know here. So we're going to flip these out and look and see. There's that Aquarian energy in the reverse. Well, it's in the upright for you guys. So there's healing that comes in. The Emperor. Once again, Aries, Taurus, or Libra energy and Aquarian energy. So what that's telling me here, as a whole or a collective, that there is healing coming forward within a relationship of some kind that you have. And there could be a lot of my way or the highway in the past, but it's not going to be that way for long. But it's going to take an investment of some kind. With the Seven of Pentacles, where have you sown your seeds in this case? That's the big question. Where have the seeds been sown here? And that's what you're being asked to look at. Also, there's been a lot of mental back and forth about a Two of Cups that is not coming through, not happening. There's Leo energy needing a lot of strength to overcome this lack of togetherness that we have in some scenario. There's been a lack of committed energy with the Knight of Wands and a lack of plan making. Like over here, okay, if the Hermit is in reverse, we've not been making plans in this way. We've not been the light in the dark at all. We've been looking at things in a different way, and we're not making the practical plans that we've needed to make. If you'll notice, this Hermit is facing that direction. There is a new opportunity here available. It's tangible. You can put your hands on it. But there has to be a plan made around it. Just coming out of Sagittarian energy. But here's the Temperance Angel. Archangel Michael may have hands all over this scenario. Cutting out third-party energy. Or too much celebrating. Facing things that have broken our heart. Making a plan for those swords to fall out. Not leaning into a decision is holding someone back here. The truth coming forward within the Knight of Cups. And maybe even considering staying with 8 cups that bring you joy. Because this Knight of Cups may be coming toward you. Getting ourselves unstuck with the 8 of Swords in reverse. There could be a tower that comes up in the future. That's an epiphany. Something that we realize quickly. That brings in an entire change into the cycle. The tower and the death right next to one another. This clearing out of this energy may create an opportunity for us to manifest the things that we really long for. Something that is small, but you can put your hands on it with the Page of Pentacles. You may get a message about that soon. It may be very well true. There's the Queen of Swords. You're going to get it. You'll know when you see it. Okay? So that's for the collective. That's what's coming forward throughout the year of 2025, hopefully. We're going to draw down on the details for each sign and see if we can figure out all around the zodiac what's coming for each one of you as a whole. Remember, this energy could last for the entire year. It might not be so immediate, but we're going to look and see. And if I get any downloads or messages about timing, I'll sure enough let you know what those are. So, that was it for the collective part. Let's move on to Capricorn next. Alright, this section is for Capricorn. We're going to start with the Moonology Oracle for our Capricorn collective for the year of 2025. What or who is coming ahead for the year for our Capricorn collective? Let's pull right here for Capricorn. Bring love into this situation with the new moon in Aquarius. That's what we get from the Moonology for our Capricorn collective. So you could be dealing with an Aquarius, or someone that you might just need to show a little bit more love for. And let's see about the Island Time Wellness. For Capricorn. Ascending. Transcending obstacles, learning expansion. There's a new phase and preparing for union. So there may be someone coming up in the near future for Capricorn where it's going to help you in your spiritual growth or something of that effect. So let's see if we can get a few more details as far as that goes. Let's use the Light Seers. I'm going to pull a couple of tarot cards for Capricorn. Spirit angels, ancestors, and guides. What or who is coming ahead for Capricorn? Someone may come back from the past here. With the Six of Cups, someone you have a lot of nostalgic memories with. There's going to be a lot of celebration around that. With the Six of Wands, somebody that may be out in the spotlight in some way. Could be looking at a water sign or a fire sign. And could be a Gemini as well, which is definitely on a polarity point, but it's going to be a definite choice for you or the person that you're dealing with. Lovers. This could be a divine union in some way. Someone from the past that you already know. We've got Aquarius on the table. We've got Gemini. Possible water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or Leo, Gemini, or Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. All right? That's for Capricorn. So, let's go ahead and get you an advice card from the Oracle of Pluto and see what that has to say for my Capricorn collective. See if there's any advice for Capricorn's highest good, spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Capricorn. Okapa. The Okapa card. That's one I just read for the first time the other night. Okapi. Okapi. Okay. 79. All right. So Capricorn. The meaning of this is a fated meeting, event, or situation. The higher meaning behind everything. So what I was saying is I almost get the feeling of all of this for this. There's a reason why everything fell out the way it did. You may be ascending on a higher path, and you're going to be celebrating with someone from the past who you actually choose. You got to bring love into the situation, and it is going to allow you to transcend obstacles and everything else. And with the Okapi, it is a fated meeting, event, or situation. There's a higher meaning behind it all. The Okapi is a unique creature, partially resembling a zebra, but most closely related to the giraffe. That is indigenous exclusively to the northern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In many ways, the existence of the Okapi seems unlikely, and yet an unknowable number of things align to make its existence so. The presence of the Okapi in a reading may speak to something that feels much the same and begs the question of fate, whether in a meeting or a situation. So to draw the Okapi card in a reading is a sure sign that something bigger than you is at play. The way things have aligned across time and space to bring you to this moment where everything is falling into place may feel surreal. Moments in our lives where we can see destiny unfolding in front of our eyes are few and far between. There's a deep knowing in our bones that recognizes the pleasant twist of fate, and that some knowing asks us to drink in as much as we can stand, because there's something crucial to be harnessed and learned. Keep in mind that when destiny turns the wheel, it may not always feel pleasant, though it certainly feels big. Sometimes when everything is aligning to put us on our higher path, it can be extremely difficult. This too requires a certain trust in the way that things are unfolding, even if we don't fully understand why. Look to a higher meaning behind this moment. Much is being revealed. What do you believe in that is higher and bigger than yourself? While there's no right or wrong answer, at least not one that we can embrace with unbridled certainty, there are countless options. One metaphor used to define the many dogmas of the divine in that of a bike wheel, where there are many spokes, each representing a different sect of belief, but they all lead to the same center. This isn't a call to define God, but to recognize the divine intelligence that courses through all things, all creatures, and all outcomes. So, if someone from your past, maybe it fell apart before, but this time it's coming together. It's happening for a reason. And maybe, perhaps, everything didn't work out with someone from the past at that time because it was the right person, wrong time. Maybe this time it's supposed to come together, because this card says you're transcending obstacles and you're preparing for union. So let's get a card messages from our animal spirit guides for Capricorn. That's pretty good reading, Capricorn. So we're falling away the things, the hard times are passing with the other part that we got for the collective. And for you, it looks like there's a choice coming up, and it's going to be someone from the past. You may be out in the spotlight. This may be a big deal. There's going to be an ascension, but you got to bring love into the situation here. The Condor. It says, you're too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making decisions or taking action. Just like this card, this is kind of like a zebra, but it's more like a giraffe. To get the giraffe view of things, you do have to step back and come from a higher perspective. And that's what you're being asked to do for 2025, because the divine union is coming about, Capricorn, for you. And if you can't see it now, it's coming. Faith is the evidence of things unseen. And you're being asked to believe in that and know that the things from the past, the hard times, and I'm hearing that song again by John Anderson. If we can't get along, we ought to be apart. And I'm wondering where'd you get that cold, cold heart. Set me free, sign my release. I'm tired of being a villain of the piece. You've been giving me a bad time. Tell you what I'll do. How come I always get a hard time, honey, when it comes to you? So some of those bad situations are going to go away, because we're going to recognize where our power lies. And we may go back and look at someone from the past where it didn't work out before. But you got to bring love into the situation. It's time to learn expansion. You're going into a new phase and you're preparing for union. So get the bigger picture, but don't make sudden moves. It's okay to slow it down a little bit. All right? So that's the message for Capricorn. Next up is Aquarius. Let's move right along. All right, let's get that 2025 forecast for what or who is coming ahead for our Aquarius collective. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Aquarius. This portion of the reading is for Aquarius. All right? Let's pull from the Moonology. And then we're also going to pull from the Island Time Wellness. Then we're going to pull a couple of tarot cards. Whoops. Let's start up here for Aquarius. Aquarius, your commitment is being tested. So whatever you're committed to right now is going to end up being tested, and that's what might be coming toward you. Commitments being tested. I hate that you can't see that better. Maybe you can see it better there. All right. What or who is coming? Love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. And what was standing out to me about this card coming out is about self-love. So you may be in a love situation right now where your commitment's about to be tested, or you're going to end up being tested here about what constitutes self-love for you, Aquarius. Sometimes Aquarius can seem to give a little too much sometimes. The Aquariuses that I've known. So you got the Eight of Pentacles. May have something to do with work. Ten of Cups. Something that makes us very, very happy. And then you may receive some type of download that comes through your intuition about whatever this might be here. You may actually see or feel something coming. Something around work or something around money. And what makes you the most happy in that scenario. And balancing relationships and self-love that may feel like it's going to put your commitment to the test. That's what might be coming up for you, Aquarius. So beware with that, because if you don't find a good work-life balance, and your intuition may come just flooding in about that. I may need to get some clarifications on this real fast for you guys. Any idea why is the Eight of Pentacles here? All right. A commitment to a job. A decision you're leaning into making. Something about Capricorn energy, Devil energy, Puppet Master, or it could just be somebody that it could be a Capricorn. And somebody who is either not paying attention as much to things around them, or holding on really tight to something, holding on too tight to a relationship. Or holding on too tight to the work, to your work, or to things that are involved with money, or being tied to your money or your work too much. What is the Ten of Cups for Aquarius? Why is that here? Messages could be a younger fire sign too. And the King of Cups, which is Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, may be affecting things here when it comes to something that you may love a whole lot. But beware of the messages. Show me the Ace of Wands. Your intuition is talking to you about doing things all on your own. Talking to you big time about celebrations and commitment and the truth around all those things. Maybe being honest with someone. The Emperor, that's the husband. Have it my way or the highway energy. Aries, Taurus, Libra. Also Pisces, things that are hidden. And the Sun, Leo energy. And the World. There may be a fear around something ending with someone here. So, that's what all that means. And it may mean more to you than to me, obviously, because I'm not part of your life in that way. But that's the kind of details with that. Could be dealing with an Aries, Taurus, a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Pisces was definitely on there. Another air sign. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Just so you know. Alright, let's pull an Oracle of Pluto for our Aquarius collective. For their highest good, what Oracle of Pluto is needed for Aquarius? For some reason you got two. Okay, we're going to take the salamander because it came in upright for me. Excuse me, I've been a little under the weather and I'm trying to make it through this. My chest is tight. My throat hurts. But I'm going to make it through it. Alright, salamander 21. All right, that salamander card means the alchemical process harnessing your internal flame. In alchemical thought, the salamander is strongly linked to the element of fire and plays a catalytic role in the process of alchemy. The poisonous bodies of salamanders are sacrificed to complete the Philosopher's Stone, which is the great work of such a practice, symbolizing the perfection of enlightenment. The arrival of this amphibious friend means that your internal fire is now required for your own alchemical transformation. Sometimes it is important to reflect on what ignites our internal flame. What inspires you, excites you, makes you come alive. Often feelings of fear, excitement, and anticipation go hand in hand. Move closer to this combination of emotions now. In this chapter of your life, it is necessary to push the envelope and challenge yourself by stepping outside of the bubble of comfort. You already know what exists there. Try something new instead. So your commitment is going to be tested. It could be within work or something within your love relationships, which I'm getting right here. And it could be about your own self-love and committing to your own self-love while you're inside of a relationship. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and the entire purpose of alchemy is experimental transformation. You're being asked to try on a new shape or size. While it doesn't mean that you must commit to the first new size you try on, being brave enough to step into something new does signal that you won't be able to return to everything you knew. And honestly, why would you want to? So if things ain't been good up to this point, the salamander's here to let you know that transformation's at hand. And your commitment is going to be tested during this time. So while the hard times are falling away, there's a new challenge coming up that's actually going to be part of your new growth. The good thing is it's going to bring in solid work opportunities and a lot of happiness. Your intuition is on fire about it right now. You may be getting messages. You may even find out about it a little bit more in your dream state if you allow yourself to be cognitively there and available for a healthy dream state. All right. What about from the animal messages from the spirit, animal spirit guides for our Aquarius collective? All right. Let's try that again. All right, the Pueo Owl. Your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now, so pay close attention to signs and omens from them. And for some reason, I'm feeling like I need to actually read this one for you. Whoa. I just opened this book and found 3 tarot cards. Wow. There's travel, a message, and an injustice here. I don't believe in coincidences. So, you put that where it belongs. Cancer, Libra energy, okay? You may get a message about this. It could be while you're traveling, or a message about taking a trip or traveling or moving. And it may feel like there's a lack of justice or that it brings something out of balance for you. Okay? Woo! I felt the hair rise on the back of my neck when I just did that. How long have I been reading this deck without these cards in it? Whew. Lord of mercy. Alright, so your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now, so pay close attention. You can receive guidance from your ancestors in the spirit world no matter what their age, when they died, or how many generations ago they walked on the earth. They're offering you help in many ways right now, so pay close attention to the signs that they give you. This guidance can come to you in many forms, whether through your eyes, ears, feelings, or thoughts. And sometimes your ancestral spirit guides appear in dreams, particularly vivid ones. You might see someone who looks like one of your ancestors, or unexpectedly come across photos or memorabilia that remind you of this person. Often a particular animal making an appearance before you is a way to which your ancestral guide is trying to reach you. You might hear something that makes you think of a specific ancestor or simply feel their presence. And thoughts about a certain ancestor, especially unexpected and recurring thoughts, suggest that they are nearby. Repetition is key here. In whatever ways your ancestors attempt to contact you, when signs continue to show up that make you think of your deceased loved ones, know that these physical manifestations demonstrate that they're with you. You may have known some of these ancestors in the physical world prior to their deaths, or they may be ancestors from long ago, several generations before your birth. Surpassing the boundaries of conscious memory, regardless of who they are, always give thanks to your ancestral spirit guides and even appeal to these benevolent helpers whenever guidance is needed. This stands for dignity, omens, guidance, protection, wisdom, knowledge, inspiration, mysteriousness, silence, sacredness, diversity. The Almakua ancestors showing up as a spirit animal. So there it is. That is the portion of your reading, Aquarius. Very, very interesting. It's so funny that you guys got this. And I don't know why. Because it has been a very long time since I opened this book. And I had no idea that these cards were not part of my Rider-Waite. Unless they were part of my old one. Now you got me wanting to look. Wow. It's been hidden this whole time. Yep, that's part of this deck. Wow. I stand amazed every time. All right, that's a big message for you, Aquarius. Libra, Cancer, and messages around that. Travel, movement, imbalance, and a lack of justice here. Your commitment's about to be tested. Are you going to commit to yourself, to your work, to your happiness? And remember, you are the common denominator. All right. That's it for Aquarius. Let's move on to Pisces. All right, Pisces, this one's for you. Start by pulling one from the Moonology for my Pisces collective. For the highest good of Pisces, show me spirit, angels, ancestors, guides, what or who is coming ahead in 2025 for our Pisces collective. What does Pisces need to see? That one right there was speaking to me immediately. Work through your fears, Pisces, with the new moon in Scorpio. So, what is it that you're afraid of, maybe? That you may need, you're trying to manifest something and you have a fear around it? Perhaps? Scorpionic energy, are you afraid of change? Are you afraid of growth? Are you afraid to let something die off that needs to transform? It doesn't have to be relationships, so to speak. It could just be an energy, something you do that you're not supposed to do or whatnot. Scorpionic, a lot of change coming in that way. So you got to face your fear monster. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides from the Allentine Wellness deck. What or who could be coming toward Pisces that they need to know about in 2025? for our Pisces collective. Show me what they need to see here. Addictions. Are you afraid of doing something by yourself? Do you have obsessions? Do you feel possessive, controlling? Is there a block or a restraint that's holding you back and you're afraid to face it? Afraid of that change that comes with it, Pisces. You're being asked to work through those fears. Let's use the Witch's Garden Tarot for messages for Pisces. Addictions don't just have to be drugs or alcohol or substances. They can be people, relationships, codependencies on money, things like that. Every one of you are going to have a different story. So whatever that means for you, Pisces, it's important that you are willing to face your fears. What does Pisces need to see? Judgment. Page of Swords and Five of Swords. So you may be feeling judged. It may be time to make a judgment call. You could be dealing with a Libra or a younger, could be a younger air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius with Pisces. But there may be a message of truth that needs to be sent regarding this judgment. There may have been a fight. Or there may be currently something that bothers our mind tremendously. Maybe some kind of truth that somebody needs to share. The opportunity is about to come in for that to take place, or to be something that you're being asked to do. Could be about a Scorpio, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Could be about addictions, codependency, or anything like that. Your truth is going to be heavily involved in whatever this is, and it's going to be your responsibility to talk about it, Pisces. All right. I'm not going to dig into that because this is whatever it means to you, Pisces. So you're going to have to put those where they belong. But I will get you a message from the Pluto of Oracle for advice that we'll read. And then we'll read from the messages from your animal spirit guides as well. All right, Pisces, you get the giraffe. All right, so you guys got the giraffe card. And the giraffe, let me get that where you can see it. It's balance between the head and the heart, the worldly and otherworldly, walking between worlds. As the tallest mammal in the world, a giraffe lives with the feet planted solidly on the ground and its head up in the clouds, which gives this creature an interestingly balanced experience between the tangible and the intangible. When the giraffe shows up in our readings, we are being called to find this place of balance and operate from it. How many times have you heard people talk about their head and their heart? That they're at war with one another, for example, or that the heart says one thing and the brain says another. Well, the giraffe card asks us to put equal weight in our practical, logical, objective side and our emotional, spiritual, intuitive side. There exists an intersection where both aspects of ourselves meet, where they agree and tell us the same thing. Take a moment to pause and ask yourself on which side of the spectrum do you fall right now? Are you approaching something too logically and could benefit from allowing your emotions to come forward? Or is it the opposite? Wherever you are, know that a space exists where we can find peace, balance, and resolution. It is here that your answer is hiding. When we cannot access our intuition, it's often because something in our everyday physical life needs our attention. Perhaps the opposite can also be true. Maybe there's something in our emotional or spiritual life that needs attention when logic seems to escape us. For those of us who walk the spiritual path, we know these two worlds are inextricably intertwined. This is how we can walk in two worlds at once, by recognizing that they are one and the same, and both hold equal weight. Move toward the space you know could use a little more energy now. So it's time to face your fears, work through your fears. If something's scaring you, something you're afraid to go toward, yeah, you may get a message about that. You may get a download, but it's going to be asking you to make a judgment call and make a decision, make a choice. And it may be around codependency, addictions, obsessions that you have, possessions, controlling. You may have a block or a restraint, and it's time for you to find that, and you may be getting ready to do that by having a giraffe's view, which is rising above the whole thing and looking at it from a higher perspective. You may need to go on top of a mountain, go to a lookout, sit on top of the gorge, take a trip or something like that, alone and away from the influences that you've had. And it may be scary. It may be something. That way you can get back in touch with your intuition. Also, I'm feeling led to tell you guys to look up the story of Persephone. Persephone is Perse. It's like Stephanie, but it's Persephone without the T. So look that up on YouTube, what that means. It's in mythology. But the symbolism that's around Persephone, especially if you suffer from addictions or you know somebody that may be coming into your area when we're talking about what or who is coming ahead. It may be something to do with that. It may be something coming into your realm that is going to lead us to a place. Look at Persephone. If you're on the spiritual path, you have to learn to balance the two. The yin yang, so to speak. The polarity of the light and the dark. Which wolf will have the most power. It's the one you feed. Alright, so let's look at the messages from your animal spirit guides for Pisces. Spirit angels, ancestors, guides. What messages do you have in this oracle for Pisces? You get the Roadrunner. Keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. So maybe you need to laugh a little bit. I don't know. Let's look that one up too. So it's so tempting to view life in all of its many manifestations, permutations, and variations as something to be taken quite seriously. Yet this is exactly the opposite of what you need to do right now. No matter what the situation, look for the humor in it. It may take time to find something, but if you look for it with this attitude in mind, you begin to see the absurdities and ironies inherent in whatever shows up in life. Even in the seemingly darkest circumstances, maintaining a healthy sense of humor about most experiences causes you to be lighter in spirit, to smile unabashedly, and to appreciate life that much more. Turn that scowl upside down by doing what makes you openly laugh. Of course, there are certainly times that require more serious demeanor. Tragedies or traumatic experiences don't call for cheerfulness and humor. When these events occur, appropriate social restrictions apply that demand the expression of emotions congruent with the circumstances. However, these instances are temporary and, like all things, will soon pass. Other than these kinds of situations, life's ironies and absurdities abound. Rather than feeling personally victimized by these vagaries, keep a deep breath, see the humor in the situation, and have a good laugh. Alright, so yeah. Speed, agility, multitasking, intelligence, adaptability, laughter, humor, ingenuity, flexibility, toning, communication, courage, self-care, and balance is being requested at this time. So where can you find balance and where can you find humor? Looks like Spirit's encouraging you to do that as well within this scenario, especially when the Five of Swords and the Judgment card is here. Best of wishes to you, Pisces. Let's go ahead and see what's coming up ahead for Aries in the next reading. All right, this section is for Aries. Let's start with the Moonology. Let's see what is coming up in 2025, or who is coming ahead for our Aries collective. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides. For the highest good of our Aries collective, show me what they need to see for Aries. For Aries from the Island Time Wellness, what messages do you have for Aries, for what or who is coming toward Aries in 2025 for Aries? And from the tarot, what's coming up in 2025 for Aries? Show me what they need to see for their highest good for our Aries collective. For Aries. That one's sticking up. So, a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. There may be something new incoming, or something definitely that's going to bring in balance. With the Libra energy, it may revolve around some type of relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could just be a new balance in a relationship that already exists. But it may be something that sparks something new, or something to that effect. All right, and for Aries, stabbed in the back, heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. So there's a warning. How can that bring balance, I wonder, when you combine these messages with a new romantic cycle? That's a good question. We'll put that right there. All right. For Aries, the High Priestess, there's something hidden. Could be Pisces energy. There's a sleeping giant with the Four of Swords. And then Four of Wands. Either a new commitment to self or a new commitment all the way around. It says a new romantic cycle begins. So there could be a Pisces in the mix. There may be something under your nose. I don't know. But this says heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack, stabbed in the back. Ah! I don't even want to elaborate on that. All right. So that's the messages you have here. I hate that, Aries. So I guess watch your back. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go ahead and read the Oracle of Pluto about that. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Aries. Okay, so whatever happens in this scenario, rejection is God's protection. Sometimes things happen, although sometimes they're painful, they definitely can bring in balance in a way that you don't expect. From the Oracle of Pluto for Aries. You guys get the spider in the Oracle of Pluto. Where is that book? Here it is. Where's the spider? 28. All right, the meaning of this card. Here, let me move this. The meaning of this card is weaving your own destiny, creative, freedom, and inner genius. The spider is the ultimate creator, tapping into its inner genius to weave the perfect web required to entangle its prey. Free from any outside influence of how the web should be, the spider relies solely on its own wants, needs, and desires to achieve its goals. Like the snake and the eagle, the spider is another symbol that has permeated cultures and spiritual communities throughout history and around the globe. If either or both of these cards appear along with the spider, take that as an affirmation that you are deep in your own spiritual initiation and indeed along the right path. Regardless, the spider asks us about our own inner genius. We all have one, and it's likely that yours is begging to come out. Relinquish the traps of perfectionism, comparison, and admiration. Cut off and cut out any outside distractions that do not feed the authenticity of your inner genius. However, it is that is waiting to be unleashed from within is perfect just the way it is, because it's yours. Consider that concepts such as good, bad, pretty, and ugly are subjective and are often reductive labels that have nothing to offer something that is raw, powerful, or important. The ancient Greeks coined the word daemon, which refers to the genius of an individual. It is believed that each of us have a daemon, and it is this helpful or benevolent spirit that helps us to nourish this genius. If you could pinpoint your daemon, what would it be? Write it a letter, introduce yourself, and make it an offering. So the spider is about weaving your own destiny, creative freedom, and your inner genius. So coming up in the future, something that may come about that happens that might be hidden at this time, something that might be right under your nose, a sleeping giant, and it may revolve around commitments, could be the very thing that wakes up something inside of you that creates a more creative space and that creates something new for yourself that's actually going to bring more balance into your life. So let's see what this animal spirit guide's message is for Aries. I can tell you when I had a situation from a very toxic relationship that I had, all the relationships I've had have always turned out to be something that I learned a great deal from. They were never for naught. And so sometimes things come into our life and they happen, and at the time it feels like it's a terrible thing, but it actually ends up being for the greater good in the long run. So that's a good message for you. The Wolverine, you're a lot tougher than you think you are. Things you think you can't handle alone, sometimes you can do a lot better than you think you can. So let's see what the Wolverine says in the book. So you have what it takes to deal with this turmoil, one where events have taken a different turn from what you expected. Recall those times when you faced adversity, when you had to dig deep inside yourself to discover the internal resources and the will to continue onward. As you recall these memories, be aware of how they feel in your body. Anchor those feelings by calling on them to shore up your courage and help you maintain your dignity. By dealing with this situation head on and paying attention to the nuances of the shifting energies, your inner wisdom will dictate when to move ahead and when to retreat, helping you sustain your power throughout. By maintaining this stance, you're not only protecting yourself physically and emotionally, but also spiritually. Call upon the warrior inside, the archetypal aspect of yourself that's charged with defending the internal kingdom and the archetypal king or queen. This is one of those times when you definitely need to be assertive with others, saying no when necessary, asking for what you want, and sustaining your physical and emotional boundaries. Pull your shoulders back, lift your head up, look straight ahead, and keep a relaxed vigilance. Do your best not to complain and be a martyr about what you're involved in presently, or it will only drag you down. Wow. So the associations with the Wolverine are ferocity, strength, clarity, focus, persistence, personal power, cunningness, perseverance, adaptability, shapeshifting, invisibility, scavenging, resourcefulness, survival, endurance, balance, and wildness. So, all right, Aries, that's your message. I hope that you got something from it. And let's move on to see what's coming up for Taurus. All right, Taurus, it's your turn. Let's see what's coming up in 2025. What or who is coming ahead for our Taurus collective? Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Taurus. Show me messages for Taurus. That's from the Moonology Oracle. Let's take a look at the Island Time Wellness. For Taurus, what or who is coming ahead in 2025 for Taurus? Piscean energy. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. You may need to slow down a little bit. You may need to develop a meditation practice. You may be dealing with a Pisces. Or you may need to make that definitely a new practice. With the new moon in Pisces, that's something you can get started with immediately. In 2025, slowing down and getting in touch with your intuition will be something that you're being asked to do, Taurus. This one popped out when I was doing, so I'm getting it. A heart with a key. You might be welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart. You might get together. Things might feel perfect. Well, that's good. All right. What else for Taurus? Let's see here. Some stubborn energy there, but the Knight of Pentacles. This Knight moves very slow. So it may feel like you're moving slow. This may be, you may meet someone new. You may be swimming back and forth about it. You might be thinking about it heavily, or it might be something. That's why the Knight of Pentacles is here, because it's slow moving energy. This knight's dependable, but he's the knight with hemorrhoids. He ain't getting off his horse. He's hurting, and he's going to move real slow. The Ace of Cups is here with a brand new opportunity. It's abundant, but somebody's watching it go down. There's a secret around that. You see this little guy? He's watching in the water, but there's lotus flowers around this. There's a lot of passion. The Ace of Cups is a new opportunity that offers love, emotions, and everything else. And then you have the Six of Wands. It's very supported. You may be supported by the community, or it may be coming in a group activity of some kind, where you feel like you're very supported. But the heart with the key is welcoming something new coming in that's going to mean a lot. You may be in two minds about it, but Spirit's asking you to meditate and contemplate and take things slow. Whatever it is that's coming, okay? That's the message from those. Let's see what the Oracle of Pluto says for Taurus. Also, it could be a younger earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or like I said, Pisces. And it may be someone from your community that you already know, or that you have met before, or someone that might be secretly watching you. I keep getting this card lately, the Okapi. Just so you know, Capricorn got that. If you needed to know that, Taurus. Remember it said earth sign. Maybe a fellow earth sign of yours that you already know. So this card means a fated meeting, event, or situation, the higher meaning behind everything. The Okapi is a unique creature, partially resembling a zebra, but mostly related to a giraffe. They get the taller view, okay? Somebody that got the giraffe was the Aquarius, I think. So it could be an Aquarius, just so you know. You can look at those readings and see. But this creature is indigenous exclusively to the northern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In many ways, the existence of the Okapi seems unlikely, and yet an unknowable number of things align to make this existence so. The presence of the Okapi in a reading may speak to something that feels much the same, and begs the question of fate, whether in a meeting or a situation. Remember I said it may be somebody in your community, somebody that might have been watching you or something like that. The Six of Wands is what's telling me that. To draw the Okapi card in a reading is a sure sign that something bigger than you is at play. The way things have aligned across time and space to bring you to this moment where everything is falling into place may feel surreal. Moments in our lives where we can see destiny unfolding in front of our eyes are few and far between. There's a deep knowing in our bones that recognizes the pleasant twist of fate, and the same knowing asks us to drink in as much as we can stand, because there's something crucial to be harnessed and learned. Keep in mind that when destiny turns the wheel, it may not always feel pleasant, though it certainly feels big. Sometimes when everything is aligning to put us on our higher path, it can be extremely difficult. This too requires a certain trust in the way that things are unfolding, even if we don't fully understand why. Look to the higher meaning behind the moment. Much is being revealed. What do you believe in that is higher and bigger than yourself? While there's no right or wrong answer, at least not one that we can embrace with unbridled certainty, there are countless options. One metaphor used to define the way dogmas of the divine is that that of a bike wheel. There are many spokes, each representing a different sect of belief, but they all lead to the same center. This isn't a call to defy God or to define God, but to recognize the divine intelligence that courses through all the things, all creatures, and all outcomes. All right, now let's pull from the animal or spirit guides, animal spirit guides for Taurus. Spirit angels, ancestors, guides for Taurus. The year of the dragon may be something important. The snow leopard. Take time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. You might need to go it alone for a little while here. Or get in some solitude so that you can hear the messages that may be coming in. It can be difficult these days to spend time in solitude, to unplug, get off the electronic grid, and find a quiet place in or near nature. Yet it's important to do this at this time. Turn off the phone, computer, the television, if only for a few hours. Although you may feel a little anxious and restless when you first do so, these feelings will pass. Use the time for contemplation and meditation. What did this say? Meditate and contemplate. That was the first card. And then I just read it here with the snow leopard. Solitude is a conscious and loving choice to be alone for a period of time, while isolation is a habitual and reflective coping pattern to avoid discomfort and intimacy. If possible, take a full day by yourself and just do whatever you feel like doing. Whatever length of time you spend in solitude, be sure to write as often as you can in your journal. If you should feel guilty or anxious about the thought of doing this, or even while you're actually doing it, use your breath to help you relax. As much as you possibly can during the period of alone time, remind yourself to breathe and relax. Whenever you notice your breathing becoming shallow, take 3 or 4 slow, deep breaths and watch how your tension and anxiety dissipate. Enjoy the feeling of having a sacred space of solitude surrounding you, and remember, you're never really alone. Solitude, self-reliance, balance, silence, stealth, confidence, determination, perseverance, containment, sensitivity, intuition, reliability, mysterious, integration, and shamanism. That's the snow leopard. One thing I was going to say, and it made me think of it, is when I spent all that time down in Florida, there were so many mornings. I made it a habit finally. After the first couple of times I did it, I felt so much anxiety from doing it. But after I did it for a while, it became a habit for me. And I found more of myself when I was down there than I ever had in the hustle and bustle of what I've dealt with in Tennessee and throughout my whole life. I made it a point every morning to get up and drink coffee on the lanai. And then I would walk out to the beach and I wouldn't take my phone. And I would walk 2.5 to 3 miles down to the pier. I'd be there to the pier around 9 o'clock or so. I could tell by the sun. And I would watch them fish. And I also knew what time the pier opened, so I had it about timed. And I sat there and I watched them catch fish for a little while. And then I would walk back up the beach. And I made it a point to never take my phone with me. And the first few times I did it, it was one of the hardest things I ever did. But during those times, Spirit would come and speak to me in so many different ways. I remember one morning when I was walking on the beach and I had asked for a sign, just some sign to know what was going on for me. And as I walked down through there was a runner that passed me. He didn't know me from Adam, and he stopped me and he said, "Ma'am, did anybody tell you how beautiful you are today?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Just letting you know." And then he kept running. And I was like, wow. I really needed to hear that today, because I was kind of low on myself that day. I'll never forget it. And as I walked on up the beach just a little bit further, somebody had written in the sand a big heart. And they had written in that heart with shells, mi amor, which is Spanish for my love, inside of that heart. And I just felt the Spirit come down, and I knew that that message was for me, because it was just a little bit further from where that guy had told me that I was beautiful. And then as I walked on further, the very same morning, just a little further down the beach, this random lady comes up and talks to me, and she shows me a sea urchin. She has it in her hand, and she says, "Look what I found on the beach." And we got to talking, and that's the day that I met a new friend there. And it just so happens that that person is still a friend of mine on Facebook today. And it's just crazy, because that's how I made a new friend down there. And it was me feeling all alone and all by myself. And there's so much anxiety around breaking away from the hustle and bustle of life. And that day I learned that God was showing up for me in ways that I never would have recognized had I not slowed down. And I began to make that a habit to do. And so many times I would get messages through the birds and through the animals and through the way that things happened on the beach, or just through different people that approached me, because I wasn't distracted by my phone or by the music or by something like that. I was actually in touch with the land, because I always went barefooted. And I made sure my feet were on the ground. And that's how I found my groundedness. So that's something that I feel like I was supposed to tell you guys in this part of the message. And that meditation and contemplation is definitely in the cards for our Taurus collective. You guys can be so caged in your own environment. Sometimes if you just get in touch with Spirit a little bit more, the messages that you get can really, really blow your mind. Just like a few minutes ago, when after all this time I opened this book and found 3 tarot cards in there in a reading for Pisces. So, you never know when you're going to get a surprise, and I don't believe in coincidences. So there you have it. That's a great message for you, Taurus. Let's move on to Gemini and see what 2025 holds for them. All right, this section is for Gemini. Let's see what's going on. In 2025, what or who is coming ahead for Gemini? Spirit, angels, ancestors, and guides for Gemini. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides, what and who is coming ahead in 2025 for Gemini? What does Gemini need to know? Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Gemini. New moon in Virgo, it's a time to give rather than take. We may also need to come up with a plan of some kind, Gemini, or you might be dealing with a Virgo. Ascending, you are transcending obstacles, learning expansion. There's a new phase, and you're preparing for union. Somebody else got this. I think it was Capricorn got this card. You'll have to go back and look. There might be something to do with Capricorn that's part of your chart, or something you need to look at as well, because they were also doing an ascension for Gemini. 2 of Pentacles. We might be tossing around a couple ideas. Mother, Maiden in the Crone energy. I always think of Pisces energy here, but it also has to do with tangible things. to ideas. Whatever it is, it may have something to do with transcending obstacles and ascension. Preparing for union. Queen of Swords could be dealing with a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, a fellow air sign. Somebody who's in major receiving mode. You could be the Queen of Swords as well, since you are Gemini. This could be you, but you sit in truth. It could also happen to do something about music. She's the Ice Queen. This ascension could have everything to do with also if you've had a frozen heart, this could help awaken that part of you. And Judgment. There's another Libra card that's loud and heavy. There's a judgment call being made, a judgment of some kind. I'm going to pull a clarification on that judgment card for our Gemini collective. You may find out the truth about something you've been tossing back and forth. Show me what the judgment card is for Gemini coming up in 2025. What do they need to know for their highest good? 5 of Wands, something that's caused a lot of conflict around. The Emperor, Aries, Taurus, or Libra energy. And walking away to find your 9th cup. Somebody may be heading toward the water. Off into the sunset. Where's this 8 of Cups going for Gemini? Something could be hidden. Could have something to do with Pisces or Cancer energy. The moon. Which one are you going to feed? You may be required to work with others to become a teacher. Capricorn energy. The Puppet Master. The Devil. What needs to be done about this? The Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. All involved. So, something about that. But just know, it's a time to give rather than take. And it's time to transcend obstacles. You're learning to expand. There's a new phase coming up and you're preparing for union. So you're going to get a lot of messages here. Could be a younger fire sign or a younger earth sign involved. All right. Whoever you are. Aries, Taurus, Libra, Gemini, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. From the Oracle of Pluto for Gemini. Show me what they need to see. The pigeon. Ooh, you got the pigeon and the eagle. These are two things that fly. Birds. Birds of a feather flock together. Might be meeting your match. Let's see what those mean for Gemini. So let's look at the meaning of the pigeon for our Gemini collective. Situational awareness, knowing your way back home, and the present moment. What comes to mind when you think of a pigeon? Your gut reaction may be silly, if not ditzy. The bird, despite this unflattering reputation, these birds have also been used to deliver messages, signals, and other life-saving information throughout history. Their use is recorded as early as 3,000 years ago in ancient Rome. Homing pigeons. If the pigeon has graced you with its presence, now is the time to practice mindful awareness. Ground yourself into the present moment. Notice the space around you, its sights, its smells. Notice how you feel emotionally and how you feel physically. As you take in the details around you, what new information emerges? Practice this same exercise for the situation that called you to use this deck in the first place. Alternatively, consider the idea that the only time is the present moment. We live in a society full of distractions. Grounding yourself into your body, your constant home, will bring you back into the present moment where clarity exists. Remember that people will forever judge you by your actions and not your intentions. It may be time to check in with both and ask yourself if the two are aligned. If not, why not? What do you need to do to ensure that both are communicating the same thing? So, how can you line your actions with your intentions? If you intend to go to a certain place, what's your true intention behind it? So physically do those things. Put boots on the ground. With the eagle, is on page 81. So the spiritual meaning of the eagle is the spiritual messenger, protection, and the bigger picture. It's kind of like drawing the giraffe card, right? To see the elusive eagle in real life is rare and fleeting. Those who are lucky enough to behold this majestic creature know of its unique wonders, just like the hawk. The great eagle is revered as a divine creature, one that is rich in deeply spiritual symbolism. Nothing flies higher in the sky than an eagle because of the unique vantage point. The eagle brings with it an important perspective, one that can only be achieved from a certain level of enlightenment and understanding. It also brings along an important message, and the other cards around it give context to that message. If you pulled the eagle by itself, this is a sign that you are the spiritual messenger, and you are being encouraged to share the wisdom, skills, and knowledge you possess. Perhaps there is a leadership role you're being asked to step into, or a community that you could serve. Often, and especially in spirituality, we are both the student and the teacher. Where do you embody both roles? Alright, so consider also how eagles are sacred across many cultures and sects of belief. Often revered as a fierce symbol of divine wisdom and protection, it is possible that the arrival of this card means a shield is around you now. Trust that you are divinely protected. Eagles are often representatives of the Great Spirit. You would be hard-pressed to find anyone who views crossing paths with an eagle to be a bad omen. On the contrary, there seems to be an universal agreement that seeing an eagle is a great gift, regardless of creed, religion, or dogma. The inexplicable knowing is an example of the concept of the subconsciousness, the belief that as humans, we all have a collective well of knowledge and wisdom that can be tapped into. Perhaps you can draw upon this same communal knowing. I think it's odd that you pulled the pigeon and the eagle. The pigeon is like a homing pigeon. It makes me think of going to send a message and then coming back home. And then the eagle flies high above the whole situation. This is also talking about ascending. That's going higher in the sky, flying higher. So you may be in a spiritual transition right now. Something that has a way bigger purpose than what you intended that you ever thought you could have. But right now, it's a time to give rather than take, because it's going to be asked of you. And it looks like you're asking to have the self-confidence and be in the Queen of Swords energy that you can be in order to make these things happen. All right, so let's go ahead and pull. Oh, I already did that one. messages from your animal spirit guides to end this part of the reading for what's coming up in 2025. Either who or what's coming ahead for our Gemini collective. The Unicorn. Indulge your creative, imaginative, and magical side through some form of artistic expression. So, you got to get creative with whatever you're doing when it comes to what you're being asked to do going forward. So, whatever the artistic vehicle through which you express your most creative self, whether it's drawing, poetry, painting, music, acting, or another form of creative expression, make it necessary. Notice she's got a harp in her hand. That's what she's playing. Make it a priority in your life by devoting some time, energy, and perhaps even money toward this artistic pursuit. Let the longing of your heart determine what the form of your imaginative expression is, but let it be one that elicits passion and purpose. Allow it to evolve as needed without acceding to an internal perfectionism about the end product. The process itself is where the magic is. Let that alone be your satisfaction and delight, and you'll be pleased with the results. Whether this avocation continues as a hobby or turns into something you receive compensation for, never do it solely for the money. There's no need to act out the starving artist scenario, but when you make monetary rewards for your primary goal, you risk stifling the creative pulse that emanates from the core of who you are, potentially compromising the integrity of your artistic gift to the world. Should you ever be uncertain about following your passion with this kind of expression, take some time to observe children. Notice how innocently and imaginatively they play in their world, particularly when unhindered by social restrictions and artificial boundaries. This is a reflection of the magical child who's inside you, begging to explore and to be expressed. So go have some fun. Magic, mysticism, virtue, honesty, purity, chastity, inspiration, protection, restoration, manifestation, power, gentleness, humility, healing, unity, and virginity. So the unicorn asks you to step outside into that, outside of the comfort zone. And it's time to give of your spiritual gifts rather than take them in. And it may have something big to do with music or a creative pursuit. And you're meant to fly. The two birds are here. So, fly, my friend. Become the unicorn and don't be afraid to stand out. There's something hidden that you can't see right now, but what's coming up is an ascension for you if you're brave enough to do it. All right, so that's your message, Gemini. Let's move on to Cancer and see what they have in store for them. All right, Cancer, this portion of the reading is for you. Let's see what's coming up in 2025. What or who is coming ahead for the year of 2025 for our Cancer collective? Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Cancer placements. For our Cancer placement, spirits, angels, ancestors, guides, what's coming up for Cancer? For our Cancer collective, what's coming up for our Cancerian collective? I don't know why I can't say that right. For Cancer. Coming up in 2025, or who? Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Cancer. Cancer, emotions are running high with the supermoon. So there might be something going on in your life right now that are causing you to feel some type of way. It could be love, it could be whatever, it could be anger, whatever emotion it is, emotions are running high. And sometimes emotions begin to run high like this because sometimes we get in the position where we run from emotions because they're overwhelming. So if that's going on for you, now we know. Separation, sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future. Someone may be feeling that way about you, or that may be a way that you're feeling going forward in some way, shape, or form. Hard to tell. Only you know. Inquiring minds want to know, Cancer. But where is this coming from? In 2025, you may suffer from a separation of some kind. Sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future. Hope not, but it's possible because there it is. Or you may know somebody who is. The Queen of Cups. So you could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio. Or this may be you holding a lot of love for someone and knowing how to express it properly. Or wanting to. But you ain't giving it out. You're waiting on them to come to you. And then the Magician, Gemini, Virgo energy, manifesting in some way. You might be manifesting a separation. You might be pissed off or upset about something. And then the Three of Swords. Feeling sad. What this said. Stabbed in the back even. But there's something painful in the deep, dark emotions around this. And that's something that you might be facing coming up forward, which don't feel very good, obviously. With emotions running high, the whole purpose in this may be for someone to get in touch with their actual emotions. Because it could have been a point of avoidance in the recent past. So let's see what the Oracle of Pluto says for Cancer, our Cancer collective, who's dealing with a possible separation, whether it's in romance or any other sector in your life. I have a feeling it has to do with something that there's a lot of care and emotion about. Something that we love. It could be a feminine water energy. It could be a Gemini or a Virgo. Could also be an air sign. Like Gemini. Not that possible, but it could be. Show me for Cancer. The Frog. All right, let's read what the Frog is about. So the meaning of the Frog is purification, cleansing, and grief. Remember I said separation, sadness, the Three of Swords here. All of these emotions are running high. There's no coincidence that these are the cards that hit the table, and then the Frog stands for grief. Just as the amphibious frog spends its time in the water, the arrival of this card is a call to get in touch with the sacred element. Take a shower or a bath or go to the ocean, visit a lake or a river, and allow the clear water to purify your soul. It may also be that you need a good cry, as the Frog card also represents the journey of grief. As much as people claim they don't enjoy crying, we often feel better after we do. To cry is to purge. to release all the things we've carried inside for just a little bit too long. If you've been grappling with the complicated journey of grief, it may be time to let it out and embrace the literal and metaphorical cleanse. However, consider also that sadness isn't the only reason people cry. There are tears of anger, frustration, exhaustion, and even joy. Whatever you're feeling, it needs to express itself through water, one way or the other. So consider that our bodies are about 60% water, and consider also this quote by Isaac Denison. The cure for anything is salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea. Cancer. Maybe you need to go to the sea. But there's no coincidence that all this information just came about. Show me what Cancer needs to see from the animal spirit guides, please. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Cancer. You get the blue heron. Make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. Maybe you get sadness because you look at what people judge. People are being judgmental of you or whatever. So who cares? What do you want to do? Trust your deepest sense of knowing what the right action is and do it. Don't rely on others to tell you what to do or how to act. Not everyone will approve of the decisions you make. And if your choice goes against the grain of what people expect from you, you'll no doubt run into strong criticism and judgment. Stand still. Look around you and breathe. You're doing just fine in spite of others' assessments of you. Besides, your greatest and most fulfilling support will come from that place inside that guides you by revealing signs that tell you what path to follow. Heeding these signs helps your soul to be in alignment with Spirit's intent for you. You may have to get both feet in the water. The blue heron in the water. The frogs telling you to go to the water. Emotions are running high. This is all about water. The Queen of Cups is here, surrounded by water. You're a water sign. What are you manifesting, Cancer? Maybe you need to go to the water. You may have to get both feet in the water and wade through the dredges of other people's disapproval, asserting yourself where needed. Practical optimism and clarity of the purpose will always dissipate any tendencies towards cynicism or self-pity. Trust in your inner knowing and let that be the source of your strength to help you keep moving forward. It's time to associate with autonomy, dignity, self-determination, balance, gracefulness, peacefulness, resolve, uniqueness, illumination, independence, boundaries, exploration, fluidity, self-reliance, dignity, and deliberateness. All right, Cancer, here's your sign. That's your message. All right, so let's move forward. It's time to see what's coming up for Leo in 2025. Who or what could be going toward Leo. All right. Thank you, Cancer. All right. This section of the reading is for Leo. Let's see what's coming up in 2025 for my Leo collective. What or who is coming ahead? Spirit, angels, ancestors, and guides for our Leo collective. For Leo. What's coming up for Leo? For our Leo collective, spirit, angels, ancestors, and guides. A fiery climax approaches with the full moon in Aries. Aries may play a part in what's going on for you, or it could just be that you're getting ready to take a fool's journey. There is the Ram. What is it that you need to release? Something that has to do with all that fire. You may be a fire sign. Obviously you are if you got Leo in your chart, but Aries may be part of that as well. And Aries, the chaser. Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. That may be something you deal with or the person coming in for you. Or that may be a factor coming up in 2025. If there's a chaser, there's always a runner. Runner-chaser dynamics are often twin flame dynamics, things like that. If you're a Leo, depending on what your rising sign is and all that, figuring out what your north and south node are, you could possibly have a twin flame coming in. You could be the chaser, or you have somebody that might be chasing you, or you could chase someone coming up in the near future. Beware of codependence in that situation, though. Temperance. Something that could have came about in the Sagittarian season, which was December, or something that could come to fruition in the Sagittarius season coming up, or somebody with Sagittarius in their energy, or something you just have to have a lot of patience for, or have been having patience for, but since it's a prediction for 2025, could be something that's going to take a lot of patience going forward. The Three of Wands, waiting on our ships to come in. This guy's sitting there with a couple of loyal dogs. I keep on waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. I keep on waiting, waiting, trying to have patience, and patiently waiting. That's the two cards I get there. Temperance and the Three of Wands. And last but not least, the Emperor. Aries, Taurus, Libra energy. The masculine could be pieces of you. If the Emperor is around, many times there's an Empress. But when the Emperor comes into play, the Emperor can be very hard. He can be a hardball without his Empress. He's kind of crotchety. So, either this is you or someone else, but it's Aries, Libra, Taurus energy, very fixated, have it his way, my way or the highway kind of guy. But he also embodies all four kings: air, water, fire, and earth. And a fiery climax approaches with the full moon in Aries. Curiously, I want to ask about this fiery climax. I don't want to clarify these, so to speak, but I want to clarify this fiery climax. Can we get any other messages for Leo on this fiery climax? It's something that has to do with the decision that you may lean into. That don't help anything. Why? What does that have to do with for Leo? Ooh, something moving really slow. It must be because we got Temperance and Three of Wands over here that we keep on waiting. Alright, so the Ten of Wands comes in to tell me that there's a lesson to be learned here. And a lack of investment. There's a lesson to be learned about a lack of investment. And I'm also hearing about taking back your own power. If you're waiting on someone else to make a move or to do something, Leo, you cannot wait on other people when the power is all yours. You always have the power as a grown-ass adult to make your own damn decisions. If somebody ain't on board with something at that very moment and you think it's time to move, move. If they're meant to be there, they'll be behind you. They'll chase you down for it. What's meant to be yours will never pass you by. Some people stay in things for fear of abandonment issues. Could be somebody you're dealing with or otherwise. But the power is always yours, and that may be a lesson that's coming up to learn. You can learn it ahead of time because I said it, if you can put the pieces together, or you can learn it through the next experience that may be coming up for you. And that's what I get out of those messages. So let's see. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for the Oracle of Pluto. What messages do you have for our Leo collective? If you're waiting on the world to change, just keep in mind that you have the power to change any dynamic in your life. Depends on where you want to go. It's about making your own decisions. You can speed things up by making a new choice. That one came in reverse, so we're going to do the mallard. Oh, you get the mallard and the gazelle? Well, isn't that interesting? Let's see. I just heard duck, duck, goose. I'm thinking about the mallard and the chaser. Is somebody playing duck and weave? Duck, duck, goose with you? Mallard. Page 59. The number 59 may be a significance to you. Also the number 5. All right, the mallard is the subconscious mind, the dream state. A mallard is probably what comes to mind when you imagine a duck, as they are found virtually everywhere across the globe. The instant association is an example of how our subconscious mind speaks to us every day, almost like a reflex, just as the mallard duck glides effortlessly across the surface of the water. This card asks us to examine the natural, deeply ingrained patterns in our subconscious mind. Perhaps the easiest way to examine the subconscious mind is through our dreams, as opaque and sometimes ridiculous as they can be. Dreams continue to be studied deeply by psychologists and spiritual experts. I don't know why I couldn't say that. When we dream, our subconscious is allowed to run free, and it feeds us images, symbols, and themes of whatever is buried underneath the surface. The energy of the mallard asks us to examine our dreams. Perhaps you could benefit from keeping a dream journal and beginning to explore the meaning behind yours. There is an incredible wealth of information to be harvested through dreams. Our dreams are also one of the main highways through which spirit tries to reach us. So in the birth chart, the 12th house represents the subconscious mind. Among other things, it is a deeply spiritual house and the only house in the birth chart that never receives light from the sun. Through the 12th house, we can get in touch with our spiritual gifts, past lives, and the parts of us that lay just outside of our subconscious perception in the subconscious. People who have placements in the 12th house, such as the moon, are often vivid dreamers. If you are a vivid dreamer, it's highly possible that you have something in your birth chart that lives in the 12th house. Go find out. Let's check on the gazelle. You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. I gotta run away, hide. That song came up the other day. My heart's like an open door for the whole world to see. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Home, sweet home. So, God, whose reading was that song came up in the other day? You'll have to listen to the last reading that I posted out there. And I don't remember what song it was, but Home Sweet Home came into one of those. Could have been Gemini or Libra 1. So, whatever that is. That might mean something to you. I don't know. Okay, so the Gazelle. That's the one we're on now. Page 84. So this one means separation, walking away, and endings. Remember I said the chaser? Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. So the arrival of this card may not be a welcome sight, my friend, but its meaning cannot afford to be minced. Whenever Gazelle energy is present, it's time to walk and maybe even run away. Be it from a belief, a situation, or possibly even a person. There's nothing good here for you anymore. As difficult as it may feel, consider the grace a gazelle exudes as it flees a scene with great speed and alacrity. Even in the face of danger or defeat, the gazelle exudes confidence in its ability to bring itself somewhere new. There is wisdom in this energy for you too. Should you choose to ignore this card, it's likely that things will get progressively worse. It's also likely that a part of you already knows whatever this card is pointing to isn't serving you anymore. Release fear. Recognize that the universe is quite fond of a vacuum. As soon as the space this situation was taking up is cleared out, something bigger and better will come and take its place. If change is something you resist, or maybe even downright fear, now would be an excellent time to explore why. Often this fear is linked to the one's definition of safety, stability, and comfort. Trying to find the balance between the necessary growth that only comes from pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone and the need to feel safe can be an arduous task. However, as we grow, change, and evolve, so do our comfort zones. Consider the changes in your life that felt scary at first, but which you now are grateful for. Then consider that this moment could be one of those catalysts too. All right, so let's look at the messages from your animal spirit guides for Leo. Duck, duck, goose. Don't walk, run. Home sweet home. And the manatee. Accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. Let's see what the details of that are. There are times to fight for what you believe in and times to lay down your sword and surrender. If you or your family were in imminent danger, it would be quite natural to defend yourself by either fleeing or fighting, whether through action or words. Extreme situations may even require extreme measures. There are definitely wrongs to make right and situations where the spiritual warrior in you must take the lead. However, it's not the case here. What will work best for all concerned is for you to surrender and accept things as they are. Yield in order to overcome. Lay down your sword, not in defeat or in self-sacrifice, but from a realization that this isn't the fight you want or need to engage in. As the saying goes, choose your battles. This is definitely not one to waste your time and energy on. Say the serenity prayer out loud. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Let go of your righteousness and your ego's need for control, and find that peace of mind that you so cherish and have available simply by choosing it. It's time for gentleness, loving, childlike friendliness, exploration, inquisitiveness, playfulness, nonviolence, calmness, fearlessness, innocence, acceptance, and sweet, sweet surrender. All right, Leo, that's your message. Love and light to you. Let's move on to Virgo. All right, this section is for Virgo. Let's see what's going on for our Virgo collective. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for our Virgo collective. What's coming up in 2025, or who is coming ahead in 2025 for our Virgo collective? Spirit, angels, ancestors, and guides. Please come in this reading for the highest good of Virgo. All right, Virgo, have faith in your dreams. I don't know what you're dreaming of, but Spirit's telling you to have faith in it. Wedding rings, union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. So you get, wow, you might be getting married this year, Virgo. I mean, what else can you say? Union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. Have faith in your dreams for Virgo. Holy fuck. Excuse my language. Jeez. All right. So, Two of Pentacles. Somebody's tossing a couple of options back and forth. There's the Mother, the Maiden, and the Crone. You got an old woman and a couple of young women there. You got a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead. And the Six of Cups. Could be someone from your past or someone you have children with. Something about houses. There's a lot of cups. Six of Cups. And the King of Wands. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy, but this is a lot of self-confidence. It could be someone who's creating a dynamic for people to be very confident. You could have fire in your chart, or this could be a very passionate connection, a marriage, something you've dreamed about. It's pretty damn good, Virgo. I don't know if I want to take it any further or dig any further, but we got to, so we can get some advice. What kind of advice would you possibly need for that kind of reading? Let's see. For our Virgo collective, spirit, angels, ancestors, guides. Virgo. Interesting animal to get, the kangaroo. Getting ready to go to Australia. Are you in Australia? Kangaroo. I don't even think I've read anything for the kangaroo before. But let's see what it means in this oracle. That is after I find it. It's on page 50. Number 5 might be significant for you. The month of May or June, February, or August. All right. The kangaroo's meaning is raw energy, vitality, and optimism. The kangaroo is full of energy and is often depicted in movies and cartoons in the fighting ring, boxing gloves and all. The raw energy that courses through the kangaroo fuels its tireless vitality, enabling this animal to spring into or away from action at a moment's notice. When the kangaroo card has sprung into your reading, exciting things are at play. At its core, the card signals a boost in our life force. Perhaps we have recovered from illness or finally feel better after being depressed for a long time. Either way, there's a surge of physical vitality that is renewing our spirit. To match that, there is also a surge of optimism infusing our spirit now, or there will be soon. Embrace this positive energy as much as you can and take action to make the most of it. If you feel ready to spring into action, do it. There is palpable potential to be harnessed. You just must decide where and how to direct it. Don't be so hasty to act that you go in unprepared. But in this case, a fast and loose plan may serve you best. Seize the moment, as they say. So upon further reflection, now is the time to recognize the potential that lies both within you and all around you. Raw energy is useless without somewhere to go. Whatever inspires you and makes you feel alive is the direction in which to move. Through these avenues, you can cultivate even more optimism and energy. Consider also that optimism is a state of mind. Regardless of outside circumstances, it is knowing and trusting that whatever is happening in this moment is best for the moment. Very interesting for Virgo. So, I feel like that this is a message that have faith in your dreams. What you're looking for is coming. Try to harness that energy that you have to just spring into everything head on like the King of Wands. You're not the Kool-Aid man. There's a door. You don't have to bust through the wall. You can go through the door. You don't have to make a new one. All right. For Virgo. The grouse. Express yourself through rhythm and movement by drumming and dancing. All right, let's pull that up in the book and see what the messages of the grouse are. Your first experience of life in a physical body was with rhythm and movement and the vibrations of your mother's heartbeat and her voice, the pulsing of her breathing, and the fluid movement of the placental sea that enveloped you. You would flow with the harmony or disharmony of her moods and movements. If you've ever tried drumming for any percussion, dancing, or the two together, you know that they touch something very deep and ancient in us. Something tribal, a deep chord of being where spirit and body coincide. Rhythm and movement draw out sensual expression and merge with the sensuous world around you. By allowing yourself to surrender to the pulse of whatever rhythm is guiding you, you connect more completely to your body. When you engage in some form of rhythmic dancing or on a regular basis, you feel more relaxed and in flow of the life. Doing so can also recreate and tap into the sensations you felt in the womb, revisiting that place of no thought where the movement moves you effortlessly. So cut loose and enjoy yourself. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Movement, drumming, dancing, sacred spiral, contemplation, completion, fulfillment, intuition, enlightenment, rhythm, power, personal power, flow, vision, and creativity, and healing. Those are your cards. Virgo, that was your message. Let's move on to Libra and see what's coming up for them. All right, this portion of the reading is for Libra. What is coming up in 2025? What or who is coming ahead for our Libra collective? Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Libra. I just saw the Libra and Gemini card flip, in case that's a message for anybody. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for the highest good of our Libra collective. What message do you have for our Libra collective? Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for our Libra collective. Show me what Libra needs to see for Libra. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Libra. All right, Libra. You're very close to achieving your goal with the gibbous moon. So if you've been working towards something, you're closer than you think, probably. That's a good message, huh? Clock. Something needs time, takes time, in time cycles. It's time to heal or you're making progress. The clock. The clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. Aquarius, the star. Healing is at hand. Notice all the blue energy. This is a mixture of air and water. It's during the Pluto is in Aquarius right now. It's about what's good for one and the collective. What is going to be healing for you, Libra? Ace of Cups. Somebody's watching this brand new opportunity that is going to bring the healing in. The Ace of Cups is here with a brand new start. Notice the passion in the lotus flowers and the water overflowing. And this little guy's got his eye on everything. He's a little troll, huh? There's a lot of healing here. And then Seven of Cups. There's more options than you think. Somebody's knocking, should I let them in? Lord, it's the devil, would you look at him? Dun, 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 dun. She has blue eyes and blue jeans. That's an old song. All right, let's see what the lyrics of that are. I just heard that song as I pulled that out. I don't know how it has anything to do with the Seven of Cups, but so be it. It's an old country song from when I was a kid. Somebody's knocking. Should I let them in? Lyrics. So it's by Terry Gibbs. It says, somebody's knocking, should I let him in? Lord, it's the devil, would you look at him? I've heard about him, but I never dreamed he'd have blue eyes and blue jeans. Well, somebody's talking, he's whispering to me, your place or my place, well, which will it be? I'm getting weaker and he's coming on strong, but I don't want to go wrong. He must have tapped my telephone line, he must have known I'm spending my time alone. He says we'll have one heavenly night. My fever's burning, so he ought to be right at home. Somebody's knocking. Should I let him in? Lord, it's the devil. Would you look at him? I've heard about him, but I never dreamed he'd have blue eyes and blue jeans. Well, maybe he's wearing blue eyes and blue jeans. And he might be the devil. Could have Capricorn, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. Libra. Could be something you need to look at. Time is ticking. And somebody may come a knocking. Is he the devil? Is it the devil you know or the devil you don't? Or is that you? For Libra. Oh my God. What do I always say about the Capricorn card? And I just talked about the devil and I talked about Capricorn. And you get the Puppet Master. And I can't help but notice the elephant right below that. Maybe there's an elephant in the room. And a Puppet Master. Dum, da, dum, dum, dum. Libra. All right. Where was that Puppet Master? I just saw it. What the holy hell? I don't know how I feel about this reading because I'm a Libra. Oh my word. I can't do this today, Jesus. Let's see. Puppet Master's on page 10. 10 is completion. Number 8 might be significant as well. 7, 8. Lord of mercy. The Puppet Master. Projection, distortion, the ego, self-awareness. The gatekeeper to the depths of our psyche will always be the ego. Though the ego isn't fundamentally a bad thing, much of psychology and spiritual work deals with acquiring the self-awareness to recognize when the ego has stepped into the limelight and we are acting from the wound. The Puppet Master represents the wounded ego and its lessons. Consider the artwork of the card for a moment. Notice how the head of the Puppet Master seems to form one of the heads of Cerberus. The dog shadow projected on the wall. Sometimes we are the victim of other people's projections. It's true, but sometimes, oftentimes, we're the projector. If this card has appeared in a reading, it's time for you to figure out which is the case right now. Keeping in mind that both can be true at once. Mindful awareness is required of you now to discern not only if you're acting from the wound, but also from which one. If we are triggered in our trauma, the way things appear and or feel can be distorted. It's time to ground yourself, carve out some space and time, get quiet, and wait for clarity to rise to the surface. Freud is famous for his psychoanalytic theory regarding the ID, the ego, and the superego. In everyday life, when we speak about the ego, we are often actually referring to the ID. This is the part of ourselves thought to be primitive and instinctual, motivated by certain impulses, including sex, food, aggression, and hidden memories. The superego functions as a moral conscience, and the ego is actually the go-between. Consider the 3 heads of the dog shadow in this card and how they might represent the 3 parts of Freud's theory. All 3 must work in synchronicity to function properly. There is no hierarchy. How can you align your ID, ego, and superego now? Are they all speaking the same language? Are they? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. That one. I'm feeling a little aggressive about this reading. Sorry, guys. If you're a Libra, you'll have to chime in and tell me how you feel about this reading. Or if you're watching for a Libra. Elephant. Where is it? Oh, page 8. Right before the Puppet Master. So the meaning of the elephant is obstacles, strength, majesty, wisdom, and endurance. Perhaps one of the most famous images of an elephant is that of the Hindu god Ganesh. He is the mover of obstacles, and people often pray to him when they need help overcoming one. If the elephant has arrived in your reading, it's possible you have an obstacle in your path now, hence the elephant in the room. There is strength and a certain wisdom required to tackle this pesky roadblock, as it may seem as heavy or big as an elephant. However, along with the strength, we must also have grace. Figuring out how to embody both at once and how to embody them effectively is where wisdom comes in. It's likely that the obstacle you're facing now is a frustrating one. Perhaps the situation has been playing out for some time and you find yourself feeling defeated or discouraged. The elephant card also calls for resiliency and endurance. Remember that elephants are often symbols of good luck. Yours may be right around the corner or the next corner. Despite being one of the biggest creatures in the animal kingdom, the elephant is a gentle giant. Imagine the force an elephant can muster and how they instead choose to channel that force through softness. How can embodying this same approach serve you now? Inquiring minds want to know, Libra. All right. And last but not least, let's pull a message from the animal spirit guides for our Libra collective. Somebody's knocking, should I let him in? Lord, it's the devil, would you look at him? He's got blue eyes and blue jeans. Who'd I say that was? Terry Gibbs. Old ass song. The dog. Look at the loyalty there. Your loyalty and faithfulness is misplaced by serving too many masters. Mercy. Let's see. Whom do you serve? Is the question at hand here. When you compromise your personal integrity through misguided attempts to placate others out of fear or of their disapproval, or to avoid upsetting them, you deny your own inner authority and give away your power. You become their servant and they your masters. You allow this by assuming that another person or organization has greater knowledge, power, or spiritual wisdom than you, and put yourself in a less than position. While others may possess some of these attributes to a greater degree than you do, you can honor them as teachers, not masters. Children may rightly look at their parents for this sort of guidance. However, as they mature, it's appropriate that the leash to their parents' authority stretches and it's eventually severed. The human error is to continue to project this paternal authority onto other people and institutions and then either subjugate their will or act in opposition to that perceived authority. Over a number of years, you may find yourself attached to the leashes of many masters, leading you to feel fragmented and, to some degree, powerless. Instead, take off all these collars and let Spirit be your one true master. Then you will experience true freedom. Protectiveness, faithfulness, loyalty, unconditional love, forgiveness, service, helpfulness, instinct, companionship, sensitivity, domesticity, playfulness, and guidance. Those are your associations with the dog card. All right, Libra, that was your message. Love and light. Let's move on to Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio. There I see a ladybug crawling on my sage container or my sage burning apparatus. Please notice. You see that pretty little ladybug there? There's no such thing as a coincidence, Scorpio. So let's take a look. Spiritual meaning of the ladybug. It's been a while since I looked that up, so the ladybug is considered a symbol of good luck, protection, and positive change, often representing blessings of love, prosperity, and renewal, with its bright color signifying joy, and its presence seen as a sign of divine favor or a message of hope and new beginnings. The most common interpretation is that seeing ladybug brings good luck and positive energy. It's guarding against harm and negativity. And due to their appearance in spring, usually ladybugs can symbolize new beginnings in the cycle of life. In some cultures, a ladybug sighting is considered a sign of happy and fulfilling relationship. Some believe ladybugs are messengers from God or a spiritual guide signifying divine intervention. In Native American cultures, while interpretations vary, some tribes view ladybugs as a positive sign related to fertility and abundance. So, that ladybug just landed on that dish for you, Scorpio. All right. Moonology. For Scorpio's highest good, what's coming in 2025? What's coming ahead for Scorpio, or who is coming ahead for our Scorpio collective? For Scorpio. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Scorpio. That's pretty awesome. All right, this one's sticking up for you guys, so let's take it. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. Your twins may be fighting. Everybody has a little Gemini somewhere. You might want to see what house that's in for you, but you may have a little angel and a devil on your shoulder back and forth, doing their little bidding for one another, fighting one another. Should I go left? Should I go right? Yin, yang, black or white? Which way do I go? Which way? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. Tiger, lion, Leo. Anyway, girl talk. That's what you get. Time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. There it is, the card. And this one, temperance. Patience is a virtue. Scorpio. Is your patience being tested? Probably. Page of Cups. Little tiny messages of love. Water energy. Just messages. Pages are always messages. They can be written or not. The Hermit. Virgo energy. Making a plan. Being the light in the dark. Making plans. Upcoming. But also the Hermit goes alone into something. But they carry a lantern. They carry a light. They're the light at the end of a tunnel. They're a light in the dark. Maybe trying to feel your way through the dark. Making a plan to get through the dark. But you're getting little messages. And we're trying to have a lot of patience with that. Yeah. That's what I got for Scorpio on this end. Let's see what is in this part. Jeez. For Scorpio. Well, you got the turkey. Gobble, gobble. All right, let's see what the turkey is. Don't remember. Number 47. Ah. One cycle ending as something new is beginning with the 11 card, or the number 11 from 47. Let's see. So the turkey is primal instincts, staying wild and free. There is a pronounced difference between a domesticated turkey and a wild one. Domesticated turkeys are notoriously dumb and homogeneous, while their wild counterparts are much more cunning. The juxtaposition highlights the benefits of staying wild and free on multiple levels, which is also reflected in the darker, more detailed plumage on turkeys found in the wild. If turkey energy is present, you are being called to find the value in your own wild and free spirit. As we move through life, we are confronted with many different messages about the way we are supposed to be. It's very possible that we have been given conflicting messages from different people. However, it's important to recognize that people love to project. We all do it from time to time, but others' expectations of us are really about them and have nothing to do with us at the root. This card is an invitation to get back in touch with your true essence, the wild spirit that you possess inside that only wants to be free. Who are you without the weight and projections of society and other people, your family, and your friends? Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Give yourself permission to just be and know that you are good enough just as you are. We can be whoever we want to be at any given moment. And indeed, there are many hats that we must wear to successfully navigate different situations. However, at the base of all these versions of you is just you. And this person has carried you through every trial, tribulation, and victory. Celebrate that person. Show compassion to that person. Invite that person to come forward and show up in whatever may feel the most natural. So which direction do you naturally lean toward? Before you think about it. So you're sitting here making a plan. Maybe you should just do it. Be like Nike. Your twins are showing up again, and they're in opposition. So you're going to have to tell one of them to shut up. Or take a little of what both of them have to say and put it together to make your own conclusion. For Scorpio. You got the octopus. Practice shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. I'm laughing right now. I am so laughing, right? Because Amy, you guys know, She just watched a whole documentary about octopus last night. And we had a whole conversation about octopus. Jesus Christ. I can't even take this day. I can't even find it in here. Let's see what it says. You know, God's got jokes, y'all. He just does. All right. To become adept at shape-shifting, it's necessary to remain flexible and resilient and be willing to practice different identities by altering your way of dressing, your hairstyle, your demeanor, and your mannerisms. Particularly focus on your body language and voice qualities. Experiment by first making small changes in any of these aspects and watch what happens. You can also become skilled in modifying your aura, the energy field around you, by intentionally contracting and expanding it. When you practice these things, sometimes even your friends won't recognize you. You can even get so good at camouflage that you become invisible to others. Everyone has numerous personas through which they operate, and you're no different. It's a matter of being conscious of those personas and modifying them through the art of shapeshifting, just like actors do. Study other people and notice their mannerisms, clothing styles, and how they walk and carry themselves. Observe animals and their behaviors and try to mimic them. Developing this ability can help you more readily adapt to the various situations you encounter, thus enabling you to deal with them more effectively. Let yourself be an actor in your everyday life and have fun with it. Just remember who you are at the core. So, when we were talking about the octopus, we were talking about how cunning and sneaky they are. And so, this is your permission to be a shapeshifter. Now, it's not that woo-woo stuff, okay, that everybody's like, oh, you can actually disappear. You cannot disappear. You are a human and you're made up of things. I mean, you can play hide and seek and disappear for a minute, but someone will find you. Otherwise, what we're saying is that you can meld in with your environment. You can, you know, if you want to be an executive, you got to look the part of an executive, right? You got to dress the part. Dress the part. So that's what I'm saying. Just dress the part. Dress the part. Meld into your environment. You do it anyway. I know my daughter is really, really good at it because it's I love my child, okay? But she has borderline personality disorder, and those people have an uncanny ability to adapt, and it's not always on the positive side. And I'm not saying anything about anybody with borderline personality. I think you guys are super dynamic, and not everybody has the ability to do that. But you can use it for good, and you can use it for bad. Octopus energy is kind of the same thing. Your master shapeshifters. Those people are dangerous. But they're fun. Octopuses are just as intriguing. So be the octopus. Here's your permission. 2025 holds a big, big opportunity for you to be an octopus. Go with the flow. Octopuses do. They have a cunning way of doing things. So here's your sign. Anyway, love and light to you, Scorpio. This was a fun read. Let's move on, last but not least, over to Sagittarius. All right. Here we are for Sagittarius. Last but not least. What is coming up in 2025? What or who is coming ahead for our Sagittarius collective? Show us what they need to see for their highest good. angels, ancestors, God, spirits for Sagittarius. Well, that was messy, Sag. It was very messy. Maybe something's a little messy for you right now. Something could get a little messy. Hope not, but it could. For Sagittarius, spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Sagittarius. Don't let pride get in your way with the full moon in Leo, Sag. Leo energy. Don't be too prideful. Having good self-confidence. Something might have came about in Leo season. Something may come up in Leo season. The number 8 or 7 may be significant to you. July. How about the healing heart? Healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationships or addictions. Either you or someone you're dealing with, or this could be something that you might go through in 2025. It is a reading for that time period, so it's possible. Let's see for Sagittarius. So, the 9 of Cups. You may feel very abundant in and of yourself, but you could have a brand new idea and you may feel fulfilled by it. You may be doing something on your own coming up in 2025. And you may be in two minds about something. You may come to a divine Y point where doing something on your own or having a brand new idea is very significant to you. Or there may be some Piscean energy, something that we're waiting to hear about. Could be the other side of the coin. Pisces also could be something hidden. That particular card isn't telling me that something's hidden, but it could be, or you might be waiting on a higher calling to do something like that. And I'm also feeling like I need to pull these two cards for some reason. They're really sticking out at me. So we're going to look at this. The Hermit, there's the Virgo card, and the 3 of Cups. A reconnection with someone or a celebration with someone. Pisces and Virgo could be very much on the table in this. And something may be very healing of the heart. And like I said, you can't let pride get in your way about it, whatever it is that's coming up. And you may heal from a heartbreak. You might get freedom from a toxic relationship or possibly even an addiction coming up in the future. That's for Sagittarius. So let's try to look at the Oracle of Pluto, see what other messages Spirit has for you regarding this information. For Sagittarius, Spirit, Angels, Ancestors, Guides, one message from the Oracle of Pluto for Sagittarius. The Devil. All right, remember I just said there may be healing from toxic relationships or addictions. Also, Pisces, I think, got something regarding addictions. You may have an addiction. Someone you're dealing with may be in addiction of some kind. And then the Devil is here. You might have Capricorn energy here. I'm also seeing Virgo and Pisces here. Okay, so that might, in Leo. So the Devil card is coming up. So let's see what that means. The Devil card. Oh my God. All right. This devil card says addiction, abuse, aggression, control. Just like a few others in the deck, the devil is a special card, representing more of a mythical creature or concept. Should the devil card appear in a reading, there is something sinister at play that requires total, ruthless honesty on your end. This card is a call to get real about the patterns, behaviors, and cycles you are perpetrating that are unhealthy. This, in a way, is the very essence of shadow work. As a byproduct of life, each of us inevitably has at least a few ways in which we tend to self-sabotage. This is the moment to name them. Is it addiction, abuse, codependency, something else? How are you engaging in and perpetuating this pattern now? This card isn't to poke at guilt and shame, nor to trigger any traumas. It is, however, a calling out. It's highly probable that you're already aware of these behaviors and know that they don't serve you. Even if there is comfort in familiarity, continuing to sabotage yourself only holds you back from your truest potential. It may feel scary to let go, but it's time to change the narrative. What is the first step? Name it, write it down, and take it. Power and control aren't always a bad thing. As humans, we often seek these things out after our power and control has been taken from us. In essence, much of the occult path surrounds regaining empowerment and controlling our impulses and unhealthy behaviors to evolve and grow into better, healthier, more capable people. Pluto and Scorpio are both energies in astrology that deal with the matters of addiction, abuse, power, and control. So does Saturn. In evolutionary astrology, we look at all these energies in the chart to unpack long-standing trauma and the karma we're reaping. We unfortunately circle back to these same themes time and again, each time learning something new. When channeled correctly, many of these unhealthy tendencies can transform into an unbreakable will, an incredible power. How can you redirect this energy to better serve you? So yeah, healing the heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addictions, and you got the devil, okay? So that's coming up in 2025. Don't let pride get in your way here. All right, so let's look at the messages from your animal spirit guides for Sagittarius. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Sagittarius. Messages for Sagittarius. Thank you. All right, you guys got the camel. Trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. The camel carries the water in its hump. Sometimes it feels like you're journeying across a vast, lifeless desert that stretches beyond the horizon with no end in sight. Traipsing across this seemingly barren landscape before you, your thirst for comfort and solace during these times can most readily be satisfied by looking to your inner resources. All the experiences you've had in your lifetime, the challenges you've successfully faced, and the wealth of knowledge you've accumulated can be called on to not only cope with any type of adversity that presents itself, but to help you move forward with courage and determination. First, identify where you want to go and then proceed slowly, steadily, and deliberately toward that objective. As you move along, cast away your fears, doubts, and hesitations whenever they arise, letting the four winds lift them up to the sun to be burned away Ease your mind and heart and know that all is well and that you're protected at all times. Call upon these helping spirits who have assisted you up until this point in your journey. You have what it takes and you will get through this. Through resourcefulness, determination, steadiness, fortitude, endurance, stamina, focus, optimism, containment, centeredness, adaptability, equality, justice, strength, survival, replenishment, positivity, and accomplishment. So don't let pride get in your way. You can get through this. It's time to defeat the devil here for Sagittarius, okay? So that looks like a positive 2025. It looks like a lot of things are probably going to change for our Sagittarius, hopefully in a more positive manner. The Sagittarius I'm talking to today may be struggling with addiction or dealing with someone who is. Remember, these energies can be reversed. If you're cross-watching, beware. That happens a lot. Could be about you when you think it's about them. But that's for you to place anyway. All right. That's the end of the sign readings. There will be an outro message, so make sure you tune into that. Until next time, love and light to you and yours, Sag. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For those of you who are still here, this is going to be your outro message. And I'm going to do one last pull from the Oracle of Pluto to wrap up the whole year for the collective. And one last pull from the messages from our spirit guides for the collective for the year of 2025. I will be putting out more readings. They're going to be more specified as we go on. Also, keep in mind, if you're watching still or you've fast forwarded to the outro, keep in mind that in order to get a more detailed reading for yourself through one of these messages, take a look at your birth chart, watch for your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus, and then put all the messages together for what resonates to you for a more personal message. If you'd like a personal reading, please tap into the information that I've left you that come across your screen or in the About section. Check out our podcast for the Raven Knox. You'll see the information about that come up too, or the ending of this video. Also, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for coming to Southeastern Soul Tribe. And let's get an outro message for my collective. Spirit angels, ancestors, and guides for the whole collective for 2025. What messages do you have to begin the year and to carry throughout the year for our collective? One from this. All right. And then we're going to do one from Oracle Pluto for our collective. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides. For our entire collective to get started in a brand new year. New Year message for 2025 for our collective. Words of advice. Got the salamander and the skunk, folks. The salamander is about transformation energy, I think. I'll read it to you. Page 21. So the salamander says the alchemical process harnessing your internal flame. In alchemical thought, the salamander is strongly linked to the element of fire and plays a catalytic role in the process of alchemy. The poisonous bodies of salamanders are sacrificed to complete the philosopher's stone, which is the great work of such a practice, symbolizing the perfection of enlightenment. The arrival of this amphibious friend means that your internal fire is now required for your own alchemical transformation. Sometimes it is important to reflect on what ignites our internal flame. What inspires you, excites you, makes you come alive. Often feelings of fear, excitement, and anticipation go hand in hand. Move closer to this combination of emotions now. In this chapter of your life, it is necessary to push the envelope and challenge yourself by stepping outside the bubble of comfort. You already know what exists there. Try something new instead. So this is going to be a year of brand new opportunities, and Spirit's asking you to kind of go with the flow, guys. Go with the flow, step out of your comfort zone, and do something different for a change. And let's take a look at the skunk. Shoo God. Skunks stink. You don't want to get sprayed by one of them. You ought to know. Skunk. Page 40. The number 4 could be significant to you. You may be going into a brand new union. Skunk. Alternative solutions and resourcefulness. As one of the most infamous members of the animal kingdom, the skunk is a force to be reckoned with. Armed with a smelly spray that can drive away even the most aggressive predators, the skunk knows how to get and keep what it wants. Its defensive tactics are also some of the most unique around. If skunk energy is present, you too could benefit from tapping into your resourcefulness and finding a solution through innovative means. Remember, this card said step out of your comfort zone. Now Spirit's asking you to get innovative. If you've pulled this card, it's likely you've been trusting your tried and true methods to solve a problem, but it seems the harder you try, the more elusive the solution is. Consider for a moment the resources that exist outside of you. Sometimes the answer really does lie in another person. Seeking the help of someone you respect and trust may be necessary now. They will bring not only a fresh set of eyes to the issue, but they probably also hold a different perspective or approach that may be the key to the lock. It may simply be that you need a sounding board, someone who can help you get in touch with qualities or tactics you possess that you hadn't thought of yet. Alternatively, it could just be that you need to step away from whatever it is and give yourself some time and space to think without actually engaging with it. Step outside the box. In astrology, we look to the axis of Leo and Aquarius as the signs of creativity. Sometimes this can literally be about artistic creativity, but more often it isn't. Both signs bring a unique perspective to things and are good at coming up with creative, sometimes avant-garde solutions to problems. The difference between the two is that Leo wants to stand out from the crowd and allow their gifts to shine, which is to say they want the credit for themselves, while Aquarius seeks to both serve the group and to blend into it. Groupthink isn't always a bad thing. Which one of these energies is necessary now? Remember that even if you don't have any Leo or Aquarius placements in your birth chart, both signs still rule a house, an area of life, in your chart. Research where they are and what it means. Also keep in mind that this is the first full year of Pluto being in Aquarius, and we happen to be reading the Oracle of Pluto, and we're talking about the axis of Aquarius and Leo. So I encourage you to really take that literal and to find out where Aquarius and Leo are in your house placements. If you need help doing your birth chart, you can contact Miriam Kramer. She can help you through evolutionary astrology, or she can lead you in the right direction, or you can go look at it free as long as you know what you're doing. Make sure you got all your information accurate on there through Cafe Astrology or through Astro Dentist. But I do recommend getting that information from a professional astrologer like Miriam. She can lead you more in the right direction. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, guys. Hold on. Excuse me. Lordy. All right, the humpback whale. Music is essential to your healing and well-being, whether singing, playing an instrument, or listening. So maybe you need put a more creativity. I know it was just talking about creativity there. So the humpback whale. Let's read what that is about. I've got a head cold, guys. All right, in order to diagnose their patients, one of the questions that shamans often ask was when the patient stops singing. If it had been quite some time, the shaman was certain to recommend singing among other remedies as an essential aspect of recovery. All that's involved when you sing, the fullness and rhythm of your breathing, the opening of your mouth and jaw, and the soulful and creative expression of your spirit serves to enhance your health and raise your vibrations. Similarly, playing an instrument can touch those inner creative depths that yearn to be expressed through song. Simply listening with your full attention to your favorite tune or melody can also inspire and heal. Make music as essential to your lifestyle as eating and breathing. You can breach the inhibitions about expressing yourself musically that you've acquired over the years in some very simple and easy ways. Sing, chant, or play instruments. Take a few voice lessons as a means to shore up your confidence. Let the magical child inside help you rediscover the joy of creating music. Dive in and play. And I do want you guys to think about whoever you have met in your life who doesn't like music. Are they not the biggest stick in the mud there ever was? People want to shut you up when you sing. But the people who come in the office singing every day or have a song in their heart about everything are often the most joyful people that you've ever met. They usually have a smile on their face and a song in their heart. And so you're being inspired, whether you have musical talent or not, that as this year moves on, that you find that creativity inside of yourself. Because music is at the heart of every single thing that we do in this world. Without it, we wouldn't have great movies. We wouldn't have our background music for the wonderful podcast that you listen to. Music brings back memories, and it makes way for our future and to mark the feelings and emotions that we have about it. You ever notice the type of music playing when you walk in a room can absolutely change the entire environment? If you walk into a head-banging music fest where everybody's slinging their hair around and doing their screamo crap, well, you feel vamped up, don't you? Or angry. And then when you go into a room where they're playing banjo music, you think maybe you just entered into the realm of deliverance. Or somebody's going to be buck dancing any minute. Or square dancing. And then you get the hip hop and the rock and roll. Or you can turn back time if I could find a way. You think of Cher, don't you? Every single time. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. You can completely change a mood just by music. And if you haven't gotten in touch with that side of yourself, here's your sign. Anyway, guys, until next time, much love and light to you. Please stay tuned for more readings. And make sure you give this a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Take care.